Greetings, everyone. Hope all of you are having an absolutely fantastic day. We are back again with more Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous. Save the cheerleader, save the world. For a couple of seasons, Heroes was by far the best thing on television, and a big reason why was Sylar, a villain we absolutely love to hate. Let's go ahead and dig into recreating this legendary figure. So when figuring out what class to use, I felt like there were two good options. One, we could go with Imitator, which of course mimics Sylar's abilities to be able to figure out how people are using their powers and then do it for himself. But honestly, the mechanics for this class are terrible. I feel like Owlcat kind of just threw it in the list, so I didn't want to use that. So instead, we're going to go to Alchemist and pick Vivisectionist, which of course goes right in line with the way Sylar likes to cut open people's heads literally and then pick through their brains to figure out their powers. So looking at the mechanics of the Vivisectionist, it's essentially an alchemist and a rogue combined. So you lose the ability to throw bombs, but you're going to gain sneak attacks, and you're going to lose regular discoveries, but you're going to gain medical discoveries, which are essentially the same thing except taking out all the abilities that have to do with bombs. You're also going to gain advanced talents at level 10, and of course you're going to have access to mutagens, which are going to provide an alchemical bonus to a specific physical attribute that you select, and these will increase in potency as you gain more levels. And of course you're also going to get brew potions right off the bat at level 1 automatically. All of this great stuff. We're going to be human and male. And then for background, I like going regional and then Andorran diplomat. This is going to add persuasion as your class skill, which the Vivisectionist doesn't have, and it's going to give you a +2 bonus on diplomacy skill checks. Feel like this is in line with the character. A lot of times he's not openly hostile right off the bat. He uses charisma and deception in order to get his victims in the exact place where he wants them. As far as attributes, let's go ahead and dump strength. We don't need it. We'll take dexterity up to 19 and put your bonus in dexterity as well. 14 in constitution and intelligence. He needs a certain amount of intelligence in order to be able to cast spells as an alchemist. So it is important for you to do this. We'll have 1 extra point, so we'll go ahead and put it in wisdom, and then 14 in charisma. Once again, reinforcing that he is a very charismatic individual. As far as skills, I put it in use magic device, persuasion, perception, knowledge world, and knowledge arcana. Alright, for your first level feat, let's go with weapon finesse. It's going to allow you to use dexterity instead of strength for your attack modifiers. And then for your second level feat, let's go ahead and choose martial weapons proficiency, just to switch things up a little bit. As far as spells, I would recommend you take Reduced Person, Shield, and Expeditious Retreat. The rest don't really matter. And then as far as deity, I go with Zon Kuthin personally, the god of darkness, envy, loss, and pain. I think that definitely goes right in line with Sylar. I also like the fact that he was once a good god and Shellin is attempting to try to bring him back to that side. Sylar definitely goes through a period where he's trying to be a hero and struggling to be a better person, but his darker side is always going to take over. I consider Sylar to be neutral evil. There's probably a case that he should be chaotic evil, but again, he struggles a lot with his nature, so he's not always running around just ruthlessly taking people out. So I consider him more of a neutral category. Okay, so now that we went through level 1, let's go ahead and take a look at the rest of the levels. You're going to want to take Weapon Focus Light Pick at level 3, and I chose Light Pick just because I think it's funny, the idea of Sylar slowly, methodically trying to chip away at these demons' heads to be able to open them up and look at their abilities. So switching things up a little bit, you could easily go for Estoc or some other weapon that you feel like is more effective for this build. At level 5, you're going to get Fencing Grace. This is going to allow you to use dexterity instead of strength for your weapon's damage. At level 7, as always, I'm going to choose Outflank. I'm kind of torn on this because, as you'll see later on, most of the things we choose, I want it to be around what's going to help him personally. Of course, Sylar is not really a team player, but this is the one case where I decided to go ahead and bite the bullet and take something that really requires you to work with your teammates to make it work properly. Level 9, we're going to take Power Attack for more damage. Level 11, Improve Critical, of course, Light Pick. Blind Fight at level 13. I think this really makes sense for Sylar, as he's someone who's facing individuals who are just as powerful as he is. So I like the idea of him figuring out how to fight well even at a disadvantage. Level 15, Critical Focus, make sure we can confirm those critical hits. Level 17, we want to get that improved initiative so he can start the fight as soon as possible. And then at level 19, we get improved Blind Fight, which is going to do even more to ensure we're good against people who are using concealment. Throughout your level ups, you also get these medical discoveries as well. So first, we're going to get Weakening Wound, which is going to allow you to reduce an enemy's damage reduction every time you hit him with a sneak attack. Very, very useful, as the vast majority of the enemies in this game have damage reduction. At level 4, we're going to get Enhanced Potion, which means that the potion caster level is equal to his level anytime he's drinking a potion. Obviously, you get brew potions right from the beginning, and you're going to be able to make potions for a lot of the buffs that you need, such as Blur. So it's very useful to you to be able to have this. Preserve Organs is going to give you a percentage chance to reduce a critical hit or sneak attack's damage to normal damage instead of whatever they would usually do. So it's going to make you significantly more sturdy. Then we take Fast Stealth. You want to make sure that you have greater invisibility on you at pretty much all times to assist in ensuring that you're going to hit with your sneak attack damage. Crippling Strike is going to do 2 points of strength damage to an enemy every time you successfully hit them with a sneak attack. This can definitely stack up, so you want to have this on your person. Greater Mutagen is going to increase the alchemical bonus that you get when you use Mutagen from +4 to +6, so definitely want to get this. Extend Potion is going to extend the amount of time that potions last when you use them. Again, this build is going to be very potion heavy, so this is going to be useful to you. Grand Mutagen is going to take that alchemical bonus from +6 to +8, so this is a no-brainer. You definitely want to take this. And then we're going to take the final version of, the second version of Preserve Organs, and then at level 20 I would recommend you take the final version so that you'll get a 75% chance to reduce critical hits or sneak attack damage to normal damage instead, significantly raising your survivability. Looking at your mythic path at mythic level 1, you're going to go ahead and choose Force Reality, which is going to allow you to do a greater dispel magic effect against every enemy in a 30-foot radius, but only specifically affecting illusion abilities. This is actually extremely powerful and can devastate enemies depending upon the type that you're going up against. We're also going to take Ever Ready, which is going to give a bonus to our attack rolls and damage rolls when we're trying to make attacks of opportunity, and it's going to increase the amount of attacks of opportunity we can make each round. At mythic level 2, we're going to go ahead and pick up Archmage Armor. So you should have at least one other team member who can make potions of mage armor, and then when you drink it, it's not only going to give the base +4 armor that will be given to you, it's also going to add whatever your mythic level is. So this can be a massive amount, especially by the end of the game. It's going to help your survivability. At mythic level 3, we're going to take Last Stand, and then you are also going to be able to choose Aeon as your mythic path that you're going to follow. So as an Aeon, you're going to get Enforcing Gazes, and there's going to be a lot of different options that you have. For your first one, I would recommend that you get Attack. So all your allies' attacks have their attack rolls increased by 1 plus by 1 per 2 mythic ranks. All attack rolls made by your enemies who fail their saving throw suffer the same penalty. Now the thing about these Enforcing Gazes is that honestly, the best ones to take depend upon the type of team that you have. So there are gazes for attack, damage, hit points, damage reduction, DC, basically just about any aspect of the game that you can think of. So I chose these. I chose ones for attack, damage, hit points, damage reduction, and then also relativity of space, which increases the chance that you will not miss an attack against an enemy and that they will miss against you. I chose these all really with just Sylar in mind. But for you, it might be best to think about your overall team and use gazes that are going to help your team. It's kind of up to you. At Mythic Level 4, we're going to go ahead and choose Improved Critical Light Pick. At Mythic Level 5, we take Unrelenting Assault, which is going to give you a damage bonus for your melee attacks. At Mythic Level 6, we get Mythic Sneak Attacker, increasing the damage of your sneak attacks. At Mythic Level 7, we take Mythic Charge, which is going to increase the damage of any charges that you do. At Mythic Level 8, we take Power Attack Mythic, which again is going to give you a significant damage increase. And then at Mythic Level 9, we're going to take Dimensional Retribution. I took this because, again, focusing on things that actually help Sylar. I like the idea of any enemy that uses a power ability against them, he's immediately going to that person, curious about how their abilities work, and wants to take them out. But technically, a team-based mythic ability might be a stronger choice here, such as Leading Attack or Inspiring Leadership, something of that sort, so you can make a choice about what you want to do. Also note that level 8 is when you actually officially become a devil, so it's going to completely change the makeup of the type of mythic abilities that you'll gain, but you do still have access to all of these previous gazes, so you don't lose any of this stuff. It's just that you kind of add this mythic path on top of everything else. And now looking at your spellbook, at spellbook level 1, Expeditious Retreat is going to help you go faster, especially useful in Dresden. Shield is going to give you a +4 shield bonus to AC. Reduced Person is going to give you a +2 size bonus to Dexterity and give you a +1 bonus on attack rolls and AC. So all of this definitely fits in with your build. The rest of these don't really matter. Aeon, none of the level 1 spells really do all that much for you. At spell level 2, Bark Skin is going to provide a significant enhancement bonus to your natural armor. Blur is going to give you a 20% mischance from concealment, and False Life is going to give you temporary hit points. All of this helps your survivability. As far as the spell level 2 Aeon powers, I would say most of them aren't useful for this build, except maybe Equal Force. Full base attack bonus attacks made by the target get a -2 penalty, but all attacks with base attack bonus 10 or worse get a +5 bonus on attack rolls. The Vivisectionist can absolutely make use of this because your base attack bonus increase is average. So for quite a while, you'll be able to, especially with that -2 penalty, make attacks that have a base attack bonus of 10 or less, giving you an easy +5 bonus on attack rolls, so you might want to make use of this. At spell level 3, Displacement is going to give you a 50% mischance as if you had total concealment, but only for 1 round per level as opposed to 1 minute per level with Blur. Haste, I'm sure needs no introduction, is going to make you significantly faster, give you a dodge bonus to AC, and it's going to give you 1 bonus on attack rolls. Protection from Arrows Communal is also some nice defense for your character. Spell level 3 for Aeon actually has some really nice options. You got Magical Vestments, which is going to increase your AC. Delay Poison Communal is going to give you some more protection. Relativity adds haste to your allies while casting slow on all your enemies, and it's not affected by spell resistance, so this is really nice. And then finally, Starlight is going to suppress all invisibility effects that your enemies are using, while also giving attacks against your allies a 20% mischance. Spell level 4, you definitely want to have greater invisibility. It's going to significantly help you connect with sneak attacks. Echolocation is going to give you blind sight to a range of 50 feet, helping you a lot with enemies that use concealment. And then False Life Greater is going to add temporary hit points that stack on top of False Life and Aid. At spell level 4, from the base regular spells that Aeon can select, Dimension Door is going to allow you to teleport around the area, which can be very useful. Divine Power, by the time you reach level 20, is going to give you a +5 luck bonus on attack rolls, weapon damage rolls, strength checks, and strength-based skill checks. Very, very nice. You're also going to get Perfect Prediction, which is going to give you an insight bonus to your AC. At spell level 5, you want to take spell resistance, which obviously is going to give you additional spell resistance against casters, and then stone skin is going to give you damage resistance against physical attacks. At spell level 5 for Aeon, Burst of Glory is going to give you a +1 sacred bonus on attack rolls, which more than likely stacks with the other bonuses that you are using. Edict of Perseverance is going to allow you as a swift action to suppress any negative mental or physical effects you're enduring. And Zero State is going to allow you to dispel every effect from every creature in a 30-foot radius, gaining a +10 in the caster level check to dispel. And then finally, at level 6, Legendary Proportions is going to give you a +6 bonus to natural armor, which is more than the +5 maximum you can get from Bark Skin. And Transformation is going to make your base attack bonus equal to your character level, which is going to give you 1 additional attack, bringing your total attacks to 5 when you're using haste. Alright, let's briefly go over the items, and this is not optimized at all for this type of build. This is actually from my Hell Knight run as Devil, so I was supposed to be a two-handed warrior who was using armor, things of that nature, but we can go through a few things. For the boots, it's a +2 competence bonus on saving throws against movement and parrying conditions. Gloves give me an additional 1d6 damage when I make sneak attacks. Belt gives me a +6 bonus to strength and dexterity. The shirt allows me, whenever my health gets below 50, to reflect damage against each of my attackers. The necklace is going to give me a +2 bonus to my highest ability score. The head piece is going to give me a +6 bonus to intelligence, which again is important to allow me access to my spellbook. The goggles are going to give me a +10 competence bonus on perception and trickery. The cloak gives me a +5 resistance bonus to all of my saving throws. The first ring gives me a +5 competence bonus on persuasion checks and a +1 morale bonus on all skill checks, while the second ring gives me a +12 competence bonus on knowledge arcana checks and a +5 bonus on checks to craft potions or scrolls. Very, very useful. And the bracers give me an additional 1d6 bludgeoning damage anytime I make a sneak attack, while I also have a +5 axiomatic nullifying light pick. And as you can see, my armor class is 72, so that's from my dexterity bonus, perfect prediction. We already talked about that from the Aeon spell list. Shield of Faith, we got a +13 from mage armor, and that's actually going to increase to a +14 once you have the 10th mythic rate. +3 from magical vestment armor, +4 shield from the shield spell. Grand Mutagen gives me a +6 to natural armor, while I get another +6 from legendary proportions, +5 from Alexia's magnifying amulet as well, and a +1 bonus from haste. All of it together, 72. Very nice. I'm not using what is that thing called? Fighting defensively, so technically if you wanted to, you could add that on, bump your AC up a little bit more if you felt the need to do so. Okay, let's go ahead and get in a combat example. So if I move up a little bit closer, and since I'm invisible, they can't see me, and I'm going to go ahead and charge. Turn on turn base, and let's see what happens. So ran in, did just a little bit of damage, nothing special. And what's that, about 70? So that's 81 damage, no problem. Let's go ahead and move to the next round. Okay, now it's my turn again, and now I have the opportunity for a full attack. And you see I get 5 attacks. Awesome. So we did roughly what? Roughly around 150 damage, and we're able to kill the Minotaur. And of course, we had a couple of more attacks we could have done, so we could have gotten it up to 200 if we were allowed to continue. Okay, it's my turn again, and I'm sorry, I forgot to mention in the beginning that we are playing on core right now. So if we go ahead and do 5 more attacks. Okay, so looks like we did 2 sneak attacks back to back. So the first one was 89 damage, the second one was 95 damage, so almost 200 damage, and 4 strength damage done to the Brock Votary, and of course it's down. They both tried to use Phantasmal Killer against me, but I'm immune to it. We're going to get up close, and then we're actually going to go ahead and use Force Reality, which is going to do a greater dispel magic against illusion effects that my enemies are using. And so as you can see, it's going to completely wipe out mirror image displacement from both enemies. Very, very powerful stuff, especially in large groups. Both of them have 2 casts of mirror image, so they put it back on. But of course, in a team environment, you could use your team to wipe them out before they were able to do that. So actually, I'm going to go ahead and use Force Reality again. And it's going to wipe it from them again. And I thought you all might want to see the check. So my base check is 28, and then I get to roll with a +10, that's 38. But even at a base caster level, it's more than enough to get over the difficulties. And again, we are playing on core. So we'll go ahead and start with this Shadow Demon. All right, and we did 104 damage to it, in fact 114 damage to it, and easily took it out. Usually we would need more damage, but of course, since we dispelled so many of those buffs, it becomes much easier to be able to deal with them. All right, and we're back again. And there we go. Once again, it did 115 damage and killed the second one. So as you can see, Sylar is someone who can be absolutely devastating to enemies, removing their invisibility buffs, doing very consistent damage, or exploding for damage when he's able to do sneak attacks or critical hits. The only things that I didn't go over as part of this build are the mechanics for Devil, because honestly, I don't feel like the stuff you get for Devil is really all that useful for this build. And I didn't specifically call out Aeon Bane, which is actually very, very useful, even though you can only use it for a limited amount per day. When you need to pump out a large amount of damage, you definitely want to go ahead and throw this on. It's going to help. And that is the build. Hope all of you enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave me a like, share this content, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I will see you all in the next video. Take care.